cambiar means to change in general. If you need to change something, it could be, a situation. It could be other things, like you need to change your batteries, for example. If you're using a controller and you need to replace your batteries, you can change your batteries. It's a common thing to say in Spanish. Replace, change. Those two are different, but essentially you're changing the old ones with the new ones, right? So batteries, we're talking about batteries. So it can be something tangible or not when you're talking about cambiar, to change something. So let's look at some examples using this verb. Miguel nunca va a cambiar. Miguel nunca va a cambiar. So what are we saying here? This means Miguel will never change, right? Some people change, some people don't. We're talking about behavior in this situation. So let's break this down and let's see how this sentence works. Miguel, that's just a name. Nunca, remember, nunca means never. Nunca, never. Va, this comes from the verb. It's interesting because va comes from the verb ir, which means to go. So it's quite interesting that we're using this verb here. When talking about changing one's behavior, you can use va, okay? Va. So it's similar to saying, in this case, will, okay? It's not an exact translation, but it's a common thing to say in Spanish. It's like saying voy a cambiar. I'm going to change, okay? So essentially, we're using the verb to go in Spanish in this situation when talking about changing. Va a, this is a common thing to see. Ir a, va a. Of course, va is a conjugated form of the verb ir. So essentially, you're saying Miguel is never going to change. So that is the literal translation, but it's very similar to saying Miguel will never change, okay? So va a, remember a, it's a common thing to add after the verb ir. Cambiar means, you know what it means. We have it right here. Change, okay? Miguel nunca va a cambiar. Miguel will never change. So that is quite interesting that we're talking about someone's behavior. So it's very similar to the verb to change in that way. So it's impressive. Now, let's look at the next example and let's see what we have here. Quiero cambiar mi vuelo. So this is a different situation. Quiero cambiar mi vuelo. What does this mean? This means I want to change my flight. Okay, so you need to change your flight. You need to change the date. Maybe you don't want to travel on certain date, so you have to do it before or after that date. That's a common thing to do. So, I mean, it's common. It happens. It's not that common. I don't think people change their flights constantly, but it can happen for sure. Quiero means I want. Remember, we don't have to say yo, I all the time in Spanish. So you can just start off by saying the verb, the conjugated verb. In this situation, quiero means I want. Yo quiero. I want. Cambiar. Cambiar. We have the verb again. Cambiar. Change. When you say quiero, it's similar to saying I want to ... Okay, so you want to add more to the sentence. So then we have cambiar, which means to change. In this situation, change. Me, not my, me means my. Vuelo. Remember, the V sound in Spanish is very similar to B as in bell in English. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about saying vuelo, because it's not like that in Spanish. You don't have to say vuelo. But if you do, Spanish speakers will understand what you're saying. It's not like a big difference. So vuelo means flight. Mi vuelo, my flight. Okay? So that's very, very good, very interesting. It's helpful to know this, just in case you're traveling and you need to speak Spanish and you need to change your flight. You need to change the date or anything else about your flight. Then you can use the verb cambiar. Cambiar, which means to change. So different situations. We use the verb in those two situations are completely different, but just remember that cambiar is very similar to the English verb to change. Okay? Excellent.